What's good my fellow Fishing Planet players? In today's video, I'll be making a guide for St. Croix, Michigan for players who are level 30 to 31. So let's do it. First of all, I was against going to Michigan at level 30 to 31 because the gears they have, they're limited to what they should be and they're really weak. With that said guys, in this video, I'm going to show you guys some things that can work and some tips that will be helpful. So pay keen attention. First of all, at this moment, I'm showing titanium leaders because that's a must and a very important part of farming pikes in Michigan. Not only pikes, but muskies too. So the titanium leaders here are very weak, even though we got 22 pound, but those are for bait coins. So then and there you guys have to make up your mind if you want to buy the ones for credits or the ones for bait coin. So with all the titanium leaders there, I'm making setups that can be balanced enough to go with the leader, the line, because the line is also very weak at this very level in the game. So I'm putting some gears together that are balanced enough with these equipments we have. At the moment, I'm in the match rod section of the shop and I'm buying the Phoenix 1410 5 to 22 pounds. Now I'll be going to the reel to find a reel that's balanced enough or just as the same as that pound on that rod. Now guys, I want you all to pay attention to the reel and the prices. The weaker reel is much expensive and that's because the gear ratio and the recovery speed is much faster, which means you can reel in your line and the fish much faster, but at the moment we're going for more power than speed. If you can't pull back a fish, you can't stop it from running. So guys, that's why I choose power over speed right there. Now if you guys notice, I bought the 22 pound reel to pair with the 22 pound 1410 Phoenix rod. That's perfectly balanced right there. But keep in mind guys, at this level, the leader and line is the weakest part of the setup. Now guys, while I'm putting these equipments together, let's cover some topics. First of all, going to Michigan, you're pretty much going to catch fish over 15 to 35 pounds. And that's where you need a keep net to keep the bigger fish. If you can't keep them, you're only going to make XP and not cash. So before you go there, I recommend a keep net. At the end of this video, I'll be showing that keep net that I recommend a lot. There are more stuff, but I'll cover those when I get there. So guys, just pay keen attention while I'm doing this. Now just a small heads up guys, I'm putting on braided line on the reel because they give you more line than mono or fluoro. They're pretty much the same pounds, but when it comes down to more line, which you're going to need because these fish will fight and run like crazy. So I recommend to go with braided line for more line to be on the reel. So earlier I mentioned a keep net, you're going to need more than that. So with the bait you're going to need to put with the telescopic rod, and I'll be making a feeder rod in this video as well. But let's go with the bait. So for bait I recommend shiners, small minnows, large minnows. Out of those three, the large minnows are top tier, but they're expensive at level 30. So if you can't get too many of them, just buy a reasonable amount and go to Michigan. But you're going to need some hooks as well, which I recommend barbless hooks to make more XP because pikes are not for XP, they're merely for cash. I recommend 6/0 hook to 7/0 hooks for pikes, and the reason why I'm choosing a feeder rod is because at the moment bottom rods are not unlocked at level 30 to 31. Honestly, at level 38 to 39 is when I recommend y'all to go to Michigan because at that time you will have bottom rods, match rods, and some good strong spinning rods with good enough titanium leader to go fishing for pikes and muskies. In this video, the gear I'll be using, you can go for muskies, but I don't recommend it. The fight, the time, the gears are not made to withstand all that fight right there. Now guys, I know there's a lot going around in the background of the video, me making my gears, talking to you guys while I'm making it. Don't get distracted by it. If you're lost, everything will be put together in the video. So you can just skip to that part, copy the rods, the reel, the setup. But I'm just trying to show you guys that I'm doing this thing step by step, and hopefully along the way, while watching and listening, you guys can understand what's going on. So at the moment guys, I'm getting some more line, and at the same time, I'm going to be buying some leaders to pair with the line. So I don't want the leader to be too weak, and I don't want the line to be too strong. So I'm pretty much just trying to get the right ones to put together, even though they're kind of weak at this very moment, as I said. Now we're heading into the feeder rod section of the shop, and as I said earlier, keep in mind at this very moment there is no strong bottom rod in the game. So if you guys want to go to Michigan to catch pikes, the feeder rod will be the best option to use as a bottom rod for bottom fishing. Now the only strongest feeder rod we have is the Big Alley 1410 19.5 pound. So guys, earlier I mentioned being balanced with the gear, so I'll be heading into the reel shop or the reel part of the shop to buy a reel that's 19.5 or just 19.8 in that range. Now guys, I'm gonna get these equipments paired together and I will see y'all when I'm finished with it. Now guys, welcome back. We're getting the line for the feeder rod, and as y'all can see, the biggest one we have is 20 pounds. So that's the biggest line you're gonna have from 30 to 31 in Fishing Planet at the moment. And as you can see, we got 771 feet of braided line. That way, if a fish is fighting too much, you don't have to be worried about him freeze pulling you. You can walk him down, give him some time, and you won't be in a panic state where you're gonna be like, yeah, should I snap the line? Should I let him do his thing? In this way, you have enough line to let him run and to fight him back. Now, guys, here is a very important tip I want y'all to hear and pay attention to. So, while I was making this feeder rod, I used a 7-ounce sinker on it. When I went to Michigan, I cast too far, the leader snapped. That's because the gear was too heavy and was primarily because of the heavy sinker. So I recommend y'all to use half ounce or 7/8 ounce sinker with this feeder rod. Now guys, in my opinion, at this level, you don't need too many rods. 2 to 3 rods is good enough. So I would say the match rod and the feeder rod is good enough. However, in my case, I use a casting rod that's level 30 and a casting reel that's level 31, which will be available for players that can go to Michigan from 30 to 31 level. And for lure, I recommend anywhere from 4 to 6/0 hook. And the lures are casting spoons, crankbaits, major poppers, walkers, frogs, and spinners. Also, spinner baits can be used, so you got options, guys. Now, guys, the only reason why I'm using a lure rod for pike fishing is because I like to keep myself occupied, and while my live base out there waiting for a bite, I could be doing something else in the meantime. However, you can just hold one in your hand and one rod and the rod stand. To be honest, guys, the bites will be fast at Michigan for pikes, and if they go slow, all you gotta do is you can recast or rotate to a different spot, which I'll be showing the spot in this video. Now guys, we all talk about the net, the rods, the hooks, the leaders and line. Let's go to Michigan and catch some fish. In this video, I'll be catching trophies and uniques in my rotation spots. With that said guys, I'll be showing some gameplays of the rod and reel, going at work, the spots, how they behave, and so on. So there's not much to tell here. I'll be just going for pikes, muskies I think as well. And I just want y'all to watch the video, learn something from it. And if y'all do, let me know in the comment section down below. See y'all there. Yo, hold up, wait a minute. Did you drop a like and subscribe to the channel as yet? Oh, hell no. If not, now is the time to do so.